There continues to be a standing stigma around mental health. There's a belief that those who experience mental health problems are crazy, delusional, or perhaps even faking it. This idea of what mental health is has continuously caused those in need of help to be scared of getting the help they need. Your brain is the most important organ in your body. It is time that you all start treating it as one. Your mental health is just as important as your physical health, so it's important you take care of it in the same way. Making these mental health resources accessible to K through 12 students not only teaches them to take care of themselves, but is a good preventive measure that may help someone's son or daughter to stay alive and get the help that they need. To understand the stigma surrounding mental health, you first need to understand what it means. According to Jeffrey Borenstein, accredited physician affiliated with the American Psychiatric Association, published an article in 2020 titled Stigma, Prejudice, Discrimination Against People with Mental Illness. Stigma often comes from the lack of understanding or fear. Generations before us have this built-up fear or lack of understanding. Unfortunately, this fear or lack of understanding has contributed to the lack of education about mental health. Without proper education, the stigma remains constant. Some schools are currently beginning to implement classes like What is Social Emotional Learning and Why It Matters? This class is relatively new, but they are learning how to express their emotions and how to manage them. There are harmful effects of stigma. According to the Mayo Clinic staff in their article, Mental Health, Overcoming the Stigma of Mental Illness, some harmful effects of stigma can include reluctance to seeking help or treatment, lack of understanding by family, friends, coworkers, or others, fewer opportunities for work or social events. As a counterclaim, the National Alliance on Mental Illness states untreated mental illness leads to high rates of school dropout, unemployment, substance abuse, and even suicide.
Where my real house is.
According to his parents, Matthew was deeply traumatized when he recorded this video.
No.
He was 15, autistic, and they claim trapped in a unit, ill-equipped to help him.
What are you missing, Matthew?
Missing you. Missing.
Violent outburst at home and sent to a psychiatric intensive care unit. According to his parents, his mum says it was the start of a painful journey.
While Matthew was there, he was
15,
deteriorating
autistic,
catastrophically,
and
so
they claim
he didn't
trapped in a
understand why
unit,
he was there,
ill-equipped to
and
help
he
him.
thought he was
What are you
in
missing,
prison.
Matthew?
Was he very distressed? Yes. Yeah, very depressed actually. He just found it.
School-based mental health. Although only around 12 through 22% of K through 12 students have a diagnosable mental disorder, it is important that schools play an increasingly critical role in supporting these students and providing a safe, non-stigmatizing, and supportive natural environment in which children, youth, and families have access to prevention, early intervention, and treatment through school-based mental health programs. Early treatment is effective and can help young people stay in school and stay on track to achieve their life goals. In fact, the earlier the treatment, the better the outcomes and lower the costs. If we had resources more easily accessible and people were better educated, we could limit the harmful effects that stigma creates for mental health. The addition of an SEL class is beneficial to both children and adults, increasing self-awareness, academic achievement, and positive behaviors both in and outside the classroom. From an academic standpoint, students who participated in SEL programs saw an 11% increase in their overall grades and even better attendance. As mentioned before, untreated mental illness can lead to high rates of suicide. The second leading cause of death is suicide for youth ages 10 through 34. With more access to these resources, perhaps the statistic will be able to go down. Mentally healthy students are more likely to go to school ready to learn, actively engage in school activities, and have supportive and caring connections with adults and young people, and many other great things amongst their lifetimes.
to others. Scientists study how certain brain areas affect mental health. For example, the fear area of the brain, called the amygdala, helps you avoid harmful things and escape danger. In addition, the amygdala works with the prefrontal cortex to control your response to fearful and stressful events. The prefrontal cortex also helps you make decisions, solve problems, and recall memories. The anterior cingulate cortex helps you focus on tasks and control emotions. Scientists study how certain brain areas hippocampus helps make and store new memories. For example, the fear area of the brain, called the amygdala, the working units of the brain are cells called neurons, also known as brain cells. The amygdala works neurons pass messages to each other through electrical impulses to fearful and stressful events. The prefrontal cortex also helps you make decisions, solve problems, and recall memories. The anterior cingulate cortex helps you focus on tasks and control emotions. The hippocampus helps make and store new memories. The working units of the brain are cells called neurons, also known as brain cells. Neurons pass messages to each other through electrical impulses.